Welcome to Ask M. This is episode 25, which is just incredible that we're on 25 episodes. We were just saying, I don't know if you guys are Game of Thrones watchers like myself. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, of course.
So good. We're pretty much a Game of Thrones series. That's how Ask M has evolved. So if you want more facts and tips, I have probably answered many of your questions. Scroll through lots of fun things for you guys. But Ask M is all about answering your guys' questions. And one of the questions I get quite a bit are about probiotics and about how to make your own probiotic-rich foods. So I am bringing the expert. This is Hannah from Haiku Foods. You can find her on Facebook and on Instagram. And she is going to break down how to make awesome sauerkraut.
Yes, I think we talk a lot about the benefits, but people don't really know how to make their own. So I'm going to change your world right now and teach you the skills to make this in your own home, so that you don't need to keep spending 10 or 12 bucks on a jar of sauerkraut.
They are very expensive.
They are. And making your own, you have a little bit more control. You get to put in the flavors that you like. If you
Get
like
creative.
Get creative. Make it garlicky, spicy, herby, whatever you're into. You really have that control when you're making it at home.
Exactly. Perfect. Enjoy the episode. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of probiotics. And both of us just absolutely love getting what you need from food. We want that as much as possible, and it's so cool what the earth can give us to make our health
Totally.
as optimal and ideal as possible. So go ahead and give me your maybe top 5 reasons for why you think probiotic foods are necessary for every single person.
Well, one thing is we live in a super sterile world where for some reason people get really excited when we're talking about germ-free and, using sanitizers. And so we're really killing off a lot of very beneficial bacteria. And so it's important to replenish our bodies with probiotic-rich foods because our body thrives on that. Our body is comprised of that.
Yeah.
So we don't need to be afraid of it. I think that's like another thing. People get really afraid when you're like talking about live probiotics. Don't be afraid of it. Your body needs it. Your body craves it. And this type of food, it really helps balance your gut, your life, your brain, and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And we talk a lot about this in the challenge, and if you guys have followed me for a while, you know this, but your gut and your brain are very much connected. And so when we're giving the gut the benefits, the beneficial bacteria it needs, then it can really play into not just, wow, my digestion is feeling good and I feel more regular, or whatever it might be. When you think of the gut, now all of a sudden my skin is a little bit clearer and my brain is functioning at the level it needs to function. So it goes much deeper than when we talk about probiotic foods. It's a lot more than just let's make you regular. And one thing we were talking about before we started is that probiotics is just, you guys know it's a hot word right now. And so one thing that I found is that people assume, okay, if I take a probiotic, then I'm doing all I need for gut health. And I have a really hard time with that because I actually do, you guys know I do muscle testing with nutritional therapy, and there's 1 out of 10 clients maybe will respond very strongly to a probiotic. And I know, okay, you definitely need to get a probiotic. But for the rest of us, a lot of it is if we can get real food, and we also can do things that are healing the gut at the same time. So the things like bone broth. So I do want you guys to be careful with probiotics when you guys are just picking things off the shelf. And you can address this a little bit is, what is even in that capsule?
Right. So one of the things I always like to compare those capsules to is a jar of kraut that's fresh, that's alive, that's bubbling. You can see the particles moving in there. You know that you're going to put something in your body.
Smell?
Yes. That is going to be alive and activated. Whereas with the capsule, it's dead, it's not moving, it's not alive. And I always question, are they gonna get activated?
Yeah.
And I do feel like there might be a few supplements out there that, you know, might be okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, what you find at the shelf at grocery stores, it's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's not going to activate your system in the way that a fresh jar of sauerkraut would. And we're talking about non-pasteurized sauerkraut.
Yeah.
If it's pasteurized, it's not going to be alive or have any of the enzymes that you really need for digestion. So always look for that
benefits.
raw label.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a great point, is that there are some that, and some of you guys would benefit really well with a probiotic and maybe have, but I really do like I guess the only brand I can think of off the top of my head is Prescript Assist. Have you ever?
Oh, yes.
Because it has prebiotic and probiotic, and so that way you're not taking it every day once you kind of get good flora. But if you're taking a probiotic and you don't have healthy flora as is, you can sometimes feel like, oh my God, I feel worse. I feel more bloated and more distended. So it's important to balance flora before just popping a pill.
Yeah. And having that blind faith that it's going to be doing something for us.
Those are expensive. You don't want to waste money on that.
This is much cheaper, and especially if you make it yourself.
So let's start. This is, I will be honest with you guys. I have never made my own.
Your world's
so
gonna change.
bad.
It's about to change.
As much as I love it, I just have always, it is so expensive. But so I'm so excited about this because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Change my world.
It's going to be so easy. And there are a few ground rules.
Okay.
Number one rule, please always use organic. Even if you're not buying organic in your everyday life, use an organic vegetable when you are fermenting because you need it to be live. You need it to have, good activated live bacteria already on it.
And if it's not organic,
it's going to be
all dead.
It's going to be dead. Yeah, you just don't want that. The other thing is using a really good high quality salt. I love Celtic sea salt. It's a super high mineral rich salt. You can also use pink Himalayan salt. That's a great one. Or any other non-iodized sea salt. If it's iodized, it's not going to work.
Perfect.
So you can use any kind of vegetable. Cabbage is just a great starting point because it is so juicy. And if you don't have a brine, then it's not going to be successful. So the trick is within the brine. So I'm just going to start chopping here.
What other vegetables do you like to use?
Oh, I love using carrots.
Oh, nice.
I love using daikon radish. There are a few different ways to ferment where you can use a saltwater brine or you can use just the water, the liquid that's within a vegetable. So right now we're going to pull out so much water from this cabbage that we're not going to add any water.
Perfect. Okay.
But if you were doing like whole carrots, and they look so beautiful in a jar when they're whole, you would need to add a saltwater brine so that they're sitting in some kind of salty water.
The liquid, okay.
And another thing that people generally think is it's that the salt is what is keeping bad bacteria away, but that's not accurate. That's not true. It's the acidic compound that is created within the jar that is keeping bad putrefying bacteria away.
Okay.
So I think the number one question that people always want to know is how much salt do I use?
Yeah.
And it kind of depends. The rule of thumb that I like to stick with is about 1 tablespoon of high quality salt to 1 head of cabbage.
Okay, cool.
If you really are sensitive to salt or you don't like salt, I think salt is really important for the diet.
I was just going to say, we could do a quick timeout and talk about the benefits of salt. Salt is so good.
It's really good
Yeah,
for you.
Don't be afraid of salt. I think there's few cases where if you have history of high blood pressure or if you're, what I know a lot of you guys have heard me talk about, if you're higher cortisol clients and you are very stressed, then salt can be very stressful for you. But for the most of us, we sweat, we move, we exercise. Salt is an electrolyte. So when you think of the healthiest Gatorade you can get, think of salt. We deplete it very quickly, and if we don't have enough of it, our body is not going to be holding on to water, and we can become dehydrated even if we're drinking a gallon of water a day. rant over.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And, you can add more salt if you really like salt, or you can even add a little bit
Can I try
less.
this? Do I just
yes,
squeeze?
Please,
Okay.
please. Use those strong arms.
Put them to work.
And you're going to massage. You're going to squeeze.
Okay.
We are going to break this cabbage down till it's really, really soft and really juicy. So it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun
this
to
is
do
nice.
with kids.
Oh,
if you
this
have
is perfect.
kids in your life, have them over. Have
so good.
your family make some of this, because that interaction
Totally.
is so beneficial, and it makes them excited about eating
Vegetables
fermented foods.
and vegetables, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're just gonna work it. The main mistake that I hear when people are trying sauerkraut making at home is that they don't have enough brine. So if you don't have enough liquid, it might get a little bit
And that's
moldy.
brine? I didn't even know that was brine. Okay, so liquid is brine.
And the brine is magic.
Okay.
So when you finish, when you're done eating your yummy jar, save that juice and put it on a salad, or drink it in the morning as like a gut shot. It's delicious.
Totally. Okay. And you said salad, salad dressings. You could put on top of salad dressings.
But I really just like drinking it, having a little bit of a shot in the morning, and it's like a great activation.
For sure. That's a great idea.
The other thing, it looks beautiful. Keep going a little longer. You want it super juicy. I really like
nice little
spicy.
workout.
I like spicy kraut.
This smells, what is in this?
So this one is a Central American style.
Smells amazing.
It smells so good. It's my favorite. It's called curtido, and it's made out of cabbage, carrots, onions, garlic, and oregano.
Oh, no
and
way.
chili peppers.
Ooh.
And the oregano adds this really amazing new flavor that I don't think we're quite used to.
It smells
I
so
love this
good.
on eggs. I love this as a snack. The
Yeah.
other big thing which you guys should really think about is if you're having sugar cravings, reach for a jar of kraut and have a bite of kraut.
Love that.
Instead of going to a cupcake or
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Superhero challenge. What?
Yeah, exactly. So right now you're in the middle of the superhero challenge, and if you're craving anything,
that's
you're
so
going
good.
to satisfy that good bacteria.
Yeah.
Because it's the bad bacteria that's like calling. It's like saying, hey,
It
feed
feeds
me,
off of
feed
sugar.
me.
Isn't that crazy to think about that our bad bacteria is causing more sugar cravings?
It's
and that
crazy.
balancing the gut really can balance your whole life in more ways than just pooping more or pooping better or whatever it is. I think people just are so limited, and when they think about gut, they just think the bathroom. It's so much more than that.
But it's so much more. It's such a bigger thing.
How's this?
That looks beautiful.
Okay.
So you're gonna fill this jar up.
Okay, cool.
And you're gonna pack it down really, really tight. If there are any air bubbles, it could get moldy. That could happen. So we don't want that to happen.
No, yeah.
If it does, it's not gonna be the end of the world.
Can you see the mold or smell
you'll
it?
see it.
Okay.
And I say trust your instincts when you're making food like this.
Yeah.
If it smells awful to you and it smells scary and there's like pink mold on it, don't eat it.
I've done that with kombucha. I've made kombucha. I'm like, is this supposed to be this awful? And I tried it and I was like,
no.
This is wrong.
No, and it's okay to test it. You're not, there's no botulism that's gonna grow in a fermented food. It's really a very, very safe.
Do you just use your fingers to
I
crush?
do, or
okay.
you can.
I have a bigger hand probably.
Yeah, you can use some kind of tool at home,
Okay.
but you're really gonna squeeze it down, and then we're gonna pour that juice in there because that's where the magic happens. That looks beautiful. I'm just gonna, my little hand can fit in here.
God, I barely got 2 fingers. That's perfect. You are the sauerkraut master for a reason. Perfect. And then slide
Pour that in.
Cool.
And look how juicy that is.
Awesome.
That is what you want it to look like. You also always want to clean off the top. So if you don't fill up the whole jar, make sure all those particles get cleaned off because those will mold if they're just sitting there.
Okay.
If it's under the water, it's safe.
Perfect. Okay.
You're going to put your lid on it and leave it on the counter for about a week.
Okay.
Open it up, test it, see if you like it. Does it taste good to you? Maybe you want it more fermented. let it sit for another week. But don't be afraid to test it out and be part of the process.
Yeah,
you know,
perfect.
This is your creation.
I
So
love that.
connect with it and taste it. Maybe you want it to be more spicy. Add some more chilies. That's totally fine.
Cool.
Other thing, wear gloves if you're putting jalapenos or chilies in.
Oh, that's a good tip
Yes.
of advice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So if I was doing more flavors, like for me, I love ginger, would I just put the cabbage in and now I'm adding more, or do it
You
all
would
together?
Squeeze
Okay.
the ginger,
So
the
everything you
carrots,
want is
the
in this
onions,
thing.
the garlic. Put it all in when you put in
Perfect.
your salt.
Okay, perfect.
And mix it all together.
Perfect. And how does purple cabbage do?
Purple cabbage is great. It's a little bit more gassy, so you definitely want to leave some headspace because
Okay.
it's going to expand. I've had a few.
Have you had explosions?
Kind of, yes. There was some like purple pools coming out. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
So
Okay.
Purple cabbage is beautiful. It turns into like magenta, like your
Oh,
shirt.
cool.
It's so pretty.
Okay.
But leave headspace.
Perfect.
And no matter what kind of food you're fermenting, leave about an inch of space from the top because it is going to expand. And if you see
Perfect.
the lid bubbling up a little bit, just open it up and burp your jar here.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Burp your baby here.
Especially at high altitude, probably
Yeah, which
in Denver.
happens.
Yeah, for sure.
When it's fizzy, don't be afraid. That's a good sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. I feel
Easy,
so
right?
inspired. You changed my life.
We just did
Yes,
that
this is so
quick.
easy. This is great. And where can I get these jars somewhere specific?
You can get jars at Target,
Yeah.
at Ace, any home store.
Maybe Amazon might have.
Amazon.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, this
I've been
was
wanting
so
to do this
fun.
for you guys for a while, so this is perfect. Tag us, Haiku Foods and Emily Schromm, in your next homemade probiotic
Yeah,
creation.
we wanna see what you're
yeah,
making.
exactly. Have a great day, and we will see you for episode 26.
Yay!